Hey Matt, it's Jim. As you can see, I'll turn that off so you don't have to stare at me. But here are a couple of changes to the site. So this is kind of a phase one national student mock election. I've talked with Ramon as well as this guy Gerard Farrar from he runs his own mock election. It used to be part of the national student parent mock election, and same with this lady from the University of Virginia. You know, back in the day, these guys were all part of the national student parent mock election. They had a big falling out. They all went their separate ways, and I am kind of bringing them back together, ironically. So Ramon says he's up for it, and I've told them all that we're going to need money to do this, or I'm not even going to start it. And they all seem to think that's not a big deal, and they'll get money to me as soon as possible, and all that. So I wanted to kind of give a phase one to say this would be phase one of what we would do to the site to get it up and run and to get it up and going. Um, so if you could, look at these changes that we have to do and give me a price tag, and that way I can send it to Ramon, and then Ramon can send me the money, and we can kind of get started on this. The idea is get a working site up with a donate button where people can become sponsors and that type of thing. So I'll kind of walk you through this real quick. But here are all the little changes. The URLs, I have a couple of different URLs, so we'll talk about sending them all to a single URL. And that single URL, maybe this one, it also may be 2020 National Student Mock Election because it's easier, but we can talk about how that works. Two, I'll send you a new logo. Three here is curriculum, and that will just go straight to the Youth Leadership Institute curriculum page. Mission and partners will still go to the little pop-up that we have in place. Here's the new writing, for that. Five here is the donate button, which would go to a page that we can either create or I guess we're going to create either way. I should probably just read my notes. Jesus. Landing page, or we can create a landing page that connects to the National Student Parent Mock Election bank accounts. Anyway, so I'll have a page there, which I think we've already done for Win My Vote, but it would have to go to Ramon's, so we can talk about what that would look like, and then I can create it, the outline, the framework for what it would look like. Here, teachers sign up here and students would sign up here with their code. And then this is just, a quick little change. So let me, okay. So curriculum, right, goes right to their page. Donate would go to the donate page that we set up. And then here would be, might as well do should have clicked to the teacher. So here is the teacher, right? And when the teacher signs up, they do their first name, last name, email address, password, and they'll put their zip code in, and then we'll populate the city. This is something I'd like to do because I want to move towards city and state for all the ballots. But we can talk about, how that would best be done. Here, the name of the school, this is interesting. We can get a list, sorry about that. I can get a list of all the schools in each one of the zip codes, or in each one of the school districts, or in each one of the counties. And then we can, list the schools, kind of like what we do now. We can do it that way. The only problem with that is, getting an updated list, because I think the list that we have is probably old. It's probably 2010 census. So we could get a new one, or we could just leave it blank. And if a teacher can't put in the correct name of their school, then that's, you're not going to go into our mock election by default. You're a teacher. You should be able to spell your name, your school right. Also, since it's not really a big deal, right? The school name isn't going to do anything except for be part of the code. And those are probably only going to be the initials of the school, or connected somehow. I don't think it'll be a big deal. In other words, the students don't have to put all of the school, all the students don't need to put the school name in anyway. So I don't think that matters at all. So anyway, sorry about wasting that 30 seconds of your time. Okay. And then the grade level, the same thing, right? They can put the grade level in, and then they get, a code, and that code is going to get sent to their email, right? So then they get a code, and we've already talked about, like how the code works and what the code could be. So I'll leave that up to you. Um, and then the teacher, uh, has this code, and we have a little link here that says, go back, get your ballot or, whatever, right? So they click on that. And then this is congratulations, you're kind of you're signed up. And then this is, all of the things. And this just is a new look, right? We have all this stuff, and maybe they want to edit it or not, to make sure everything is good, with that, right? So now they go to their ballot, and when they, this would be something standard that all get. We may even make a little nicer logo with a hat with a 2020 thing there or something like that. But they get that, and then when they want to start customizing their ballot here, so this would pop up, like 3 seconds or 4 seconds later or whatever, saying this is how you customize your ballot. You just click on that, and then the race disappears, and then you get rid of both of them. And if you change your mind before you hit save, you can just click on that, and it will be back like that. And then you click save, and there is your ballot. The tricky part on this one is like what we were talking about, whether you become an automatic group. So the teacher, gets that username. We generate a group for with that teacher's name, and then moving forward, the teacher is essentially a group, um, and a group that the students automatically join. When they get that code, right, it connects them to that group and that group's ballot. So this is really, I think I did it. I think I have the little group logo, up here on one of the slides down there. But essentially, this is the teachers group, and these guys are now members, of this group. So the way that the students would work, the way they would log in, is the teacher would give them the code. They can either email it to the students, or they could write it up on the chalkboard, on the whiteboard, and then the students, land here. They put their code in. They choose a password. They hit save, and then it says, "Great, this is your new login, whatever that code may be. Student one." And their password, and then they go to their ballot. And then their ballot would essentially be that teacher's group. Because this is the way that I want Win My Vote to be as well. So groups would be able to have their own ballot in favoriting, right? So the group would go to their group page, and their group page would essentially be their group ballot. Would look like that. So we can talk live about that. But that's it. The other thing that I'm thinking about, and this is where I was thinking, I'll just walk you through the rest of it, although what we've already covered is probably that first step. Like, I'm not going to go much further than this, without Ramon or these guys, sending money and me being able to send it to you. But I'll just walk you through just so that so you see it, right? Because you probably have nothing better to do than to watch my videos anyway. So that's a joke, obviously. But anyway, so the trusted sources, I kind of thought like, hey, this could be a good idea, because when you're in the group mode, you're kind of like a voter anyway. So you're just choosing trusted sources as a group, or kind of how you would as a user, right? And that would be great, because then as a member of your group, I'm only seeing your trusted sources on your group ballot. So, that may be something that the group administrator, clicks on and says, great, I want to add, these people and this group, and I want to search for Moms Demand Action, and I want to, connect with them as well, and, blah, blah. So they add all those trusted sources so that they're now, connected to the ballot. That's a tricky one, because we don't want to put our thumb on the scale, so to speak, with any of the candidates. But at the same time, the whole endorsement feature of the candidates is going to have to be addressed. Whether we're going to be able to include those or not include those, or how that works. But again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But anyway, so this is kind of the new look as well, and the kids, as well as Win My Vote, would click here and would pop up in this kind of Twitter-like window here, and they could scroll quickly through, the whoever's in the race. And then they could also obviously watch videos and see the party here, and do a quick bio, which would just be a sort of a form that the candidate would fill out. When were you born, education, that type of stuff, right? And I can talk about building that, when it's real. But then they could scroll down and it would be about us, and they can go back up to the top, and then they can do on the issues, and then issues are just stacked like this, and you could quick, link to them, or you could just scroll down and you can see the different issues. Sorry about that, Jace. The hell? Oh, I wasn't doing it like a PowerPoint. I was doing it like a real website. Yeah. I don't know why I jumped like that. So sorry. So anyway, it shouldn't jump like that. I'm gonna let you look at the sausage of the way I make this stuff. Okay, so you should go back to the top, right? And then you should do endorsements, and then the endorsements would pop up here, and then you could do show just my trusted sources. So you would just have those trusted sources here, and then you could click and watch the video. I don't know if I have any other ones. Yeah. You watch the videos, and then you're back here and you say, yep, I want to favorite her. And it goes like that. And then, again, I don't know how this box of the green or the green star and the green words, or I've just never been happy with anything like this. And even fading them out hardly helps me at all. So as of right now, I think maybe that's just the star and this thing and maybe a solid line. I think I did this full on green. I think I've gone back and forth a bunch of times. I just, again, never been really happy with how it ends up looking. So, but that is it. And then on the questions, and again, this is getting ahead of ourselves, but the questions would function, I think like they did last time. You'd open them up, you'd be able to do that. You'd be able to read the full text, and then you'd have arguments for and arguments against. And that would come from procon.com, and I can do all that. And there you do. And then you vote on that, and it's yes. And then here you can see the percentage, of how things are doing. And then these would be the actual number, of favorites. And again, these are all, up for discussion about how it would work. But I think that's a great feature. And then as far as the National Student Mock Election page would go, we would have a page on there, maybe down from the landing page where you just scroll down once or twice for results. And again, sorry, I'm doing this real time here. Yeah, I don't know, however that would be, right? And then you would click on that. And if you clicked on it, before the election, this is what you would see. And then as the votes come in, and again, this is kind of an application that I think I can get. I don't think we have to buy it. We may have to buy it and integrate it. Anyway, I think there's some kind of a widget I can do where we can just punch in numbers and then it can start changing a map like that. And that's it. And then the same thing on this right here, kind of displaying the results of things. And then these are just, little click-throughs that will be on the web page, or sponsors or that type of stuff. Anyway, hope that all made sense, Matt. Sorry for it being so long, but it's just hard for me to do it without, doing it this way where I kind of fumble through it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.